our entire country into two groups. One group that wanted to defund the cops, and the other that wasn't a bunch of idiots. Folks, we need police because we can't have law and order without them. And it's that law and order that allows us to enjoy the freedom we're saluting when we pledge allegiance to the flag. Sure, you have the freedom not to salute the flag, but if these woke teachers don't think it's worth doing, then they failed history too. Right now, we don't think it's a big deal that we let the iPhone do all the thinking for us. But when our children get into the global economy, they're going to be competing against the children who built those iPhones in the factories of China. And if our education system is going to keep obsessing over woke initiatives like banning God, our kids aren't going to have a crack. Be sure to listen to Fox Across America weekdays from noon to 3 on Fox News app or foxacrossamerica.com with your main engine Phil.
You've been listening to the Fox News Rundown. Stay up to date by subscribing to this podcast at foxnewspodcasts.com. And for up-to-the-minute news, go to foxnews.com.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I made around $200.
Wow, well there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAFFIC for a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right through bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAFFIC for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAFFIC.
Is your job construction from the historical line? A perfect time to switch careers and become an IT professional. With My Computer Career, IT is listed as one of the top recession-proof professions. You can have your dream job in just months, not years. No experience needed. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Tired of companies like Google and Facebook watching everything you do online? There's actually a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more, all for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with a push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Back to school is just around the corner, and as you get the kids set up for success, make sure you've got a winning insurance plan for the protection you need in place for your home and your car. Hi, this is Brian Chapman with Chapman Insurance Group. When it comes to protecting your loved ones and property, consider CIG. Give my team an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. At Chapman Insurance Group, we can save you money for the same or better coverage in Southwest Florida. Visit a location near you or online at cigflorida.com.
Calling out political theft by the left. 92.5 WFSX Estero, Fox News. Right, all along.
So the raid made it public. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what former President Trump says in a late-night statement.
Not only will I not oppose the release of documents related to the un-American, unwarranted, and unnecessary raid and break-in of my home in Palm Beach, Florida, Mar-a-Lago, I am going a step further by encouraging the immediate release of those documents. Now, the Washington
You can send me more of the station down the line.
weapons were among the items agents sought.
Sweet.
He says he personally signed off on seeking it for the raid.
The department does not take such decision lightly.
A sheriff's deputy was shot dead early this morning while in North Carolina. A short time ago, Wake County Sheriff Gerald Baker said,
"We will find who is responsible for this loss."
Actress Anne Heche remains on life support a week after a car crash in California, but a representative says she's not expected to recover as doctors evaluate if any of Heche's organs could be donated. Earlier this week,
the LAPD escalated their investigation to a felony.
Yeah, it's great.
She was injured and needed medical assistance following issues crashing into her home. Monday, cops received a warrant to test the actress' alcohol, see if she was
All right, good.
drugs or alcohol at the time of the accident.
Fox's Michelle Polino, there is a change in COVID policy. Here's Fox's Steve Rappaport.
The CDC will no longer advise Americans to quarantine themselves if they come into close contact with an infected person, and social distancing is no longer necessary. COVID-19 guidance will also change for schools, with the agency ending its recommendation for routine daily testing.
The reason? The CDC says 95% of Americans have some sort of immunity now, either from vaccines or from being infected with COVID. Americans listening to Fox News.
Attention all business owners.
Any sense? 92.5 WFSX Estero, Fox News. Right, all along.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Week news, traffic.
For community beach drivers, we have a traffic alert southbound near mile marker 116. That is the Beach Road exit. There is an accident. There are some vehicles that are heading there right now. And we want to tell you at this point with the Beach Road, you are moving slow east and west at the interstate. There are some reports out there. There could be a closure on the exit ramp. We're keeping an eye on this. So far, we can only see one vehicle that's involved. It looks like a couple people are outside of their car. So proceed with caution in the area. You may want to opt for 41 at this point. That's your up-to-date traffic. Below the post, Wink News.
Wink Weather Authority.
So here it does, bringing us one more day of hazier sky conditions before we should start to see some improvements for the upcoming weekend with that dust beginning to dissipate. A dry start to your Friday with just some isolated thunderstorms that develop after 3 p.m. this afternoon and into the early evening hours. Any of this will stay dry. Highs pushed about 94 degrees for today. Look for Friday conditions again to kick off your Saturday morning with low near 77 degrees. But with that dust dissipating, that'll open up the door for some higher rain chances. For scattered thunderstorms returning Saturday and Sunday with highs in the lower 90s. And with news, Weather Authority meteorologist, please determine whether you're commuting to the office or driving to the beach. Always stay to the right with 92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Don't let the noise be a distraction. Where do you go for
Hey, look at us. We are here live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road here in beautiful Naples. How do I know? Because there's a group of people that are sitting in front of me, because I'm not in the studio, because Ian Hicken is back at the studio. Jake the Millennial is going to be here for one of his surprise visits, and the crowd goes wild when he shows up. When that is, I don't know. He'll be here any minute. It's too early for him to drive further than he usually drives, so let's not get carried away. So Jake will be here whenever he's here, and you can see the unbelievable locks. You can hear the pithy comments, and I don't know what else. But listen, Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. We love being here. It's our makeup day for our first Friday. We were at CPAC last week, so here we are today. So we're excited to be here with you. Coming up this morning, maybe we'll take some phone calls. Why not? 239-479-5592. Who do you believe? I mean, I guess maybe we already know when it comes to who do we believe. There are a lot of questions when it comes to Merrick Garland and what he says, and faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock of the DOJ. I'm sorry, I can't even say it with a straight face. It's really hard to do that. So we're going to play some audio from Merrick Garland, and we're going to go through exactly what went down yesterday and some of the other things that are being said. I mean, Donald Trump was a Russian asset. And then he was somebody who was trying to destroy the Constitution. Now he's giving nuclear secrets to Saudi Arabia. Is that right? Is that why he played in the Live Golf Tournament? Is that what it was all about? It was just kind of being buddy-buddy with the Saudis and, nuclear secrets. And, I mean, according to the Washington Post, which we know we can, I can't even say it with a straight face once again, publications that we can absolutely positively trust. Look, we have evidence already to the fact that we have distrust in our alphabet bureaucracies because they've done it to themselves. We already have the proof in the past of Kevin Kleinsmith and hey, I'm going to be a little wordsmith, Kleinsmith, wordsmith. And, when we go for the FISA warrant against Carter Page, maybe there'll be some things that we'll leave out. I mean, there's a little bit of honesty, but there's a whole portion in there that we'll leave out, kind of like forging documents in order to get warrants. So when you have that kind of history, it's really hard for us to just jump in both feet and be able to say, yes, whatever you say, we are going to take wholeheartedly. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. Also, hey, who doesn't love a little Disney news? Is it true? Is this happening? Is Disney like doing a little quote-unquote don't say gay to themselves? Wait, let me say that again. Is Disney doing a don't say gay to themselves? That can't be possible. Well, we'll check it out and see what's going on there. Plus, it's always nice to know that the family of Hunter Biden, as clean as the wind-driven snow. Well, there's snow in there someplace, but we don't think it's the same kind of snow. It might be a slang for something else. Did I say that? I digress. Hunter and family, they're staying at a $20 million South Carolina mansion. They don't pay for that mansion. When you're the president and you're Hunter and the fam, and the doctor, you get to go visit wonderful places, and it's on somebody else's dime. So there you go. Lots of questions about that, or maybe not. We'll keep out of it. First of all, let's do this. Quickly, let's check in with Ian Hicken back at the studio, who's there right now. Anytime we have Ian on the air with us, it's always a lot of fun. Usually he's on with Trey in the afternoon in The Drive, a fantastic show, 5 to 8 p.m. You should be tuning in. So for him to be there early in the morning and be there with me is something that is appreciated. How are you this morning, Ian? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay. If there's something wrong outside, there's no light.
There's no light outside, right? You mean well, no, actually, is today a full moon? Is a full moon today? Doesn't it seem?
I'm not sure.
Because I typically when I wake up, a little inside Drew Steele baseball, when I wake up, my son's room's next to me, so I wake up and I close his door because when I wake up, all the lights in the house go on, and I look out the window and it looks kind of light outside, like it's a full moon, so I'm kind of feeling that maybe it is a full moon. I don't know. So are you going to be okay with the whole light-dark thing? You'll figure out the change.
Oh, no, everything's fine.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
I'm getting used to it.
Hey, by the way, hot take. Hot take on Merrick Garland yesterday. Hot take from you, Ian Hicken, on your thoughts on what's been happening with the FBI. Would you like to give a hot take? I always love your hot takes.
It's a joke.
Okay, that's my hot take for the morning.
If places trying to work on their own reputation, this didn't help.
Yeah, what are we missing here? You know, you've got the public pressure. Everybody is like, listen, where are you, Merrick Garland? What's going on with the Attorney General? You need to show up and you need to address the media. And then he does, and then he says he personally approved the decision for the FBI to execute the search warrant. But I thought that wasn't the case before. It was weird. It started out as Merrick. Nobody knew. The president doesn't know. Hunter certainly doesn't know. A lot of people didn't know. The Attorney General, did he or didn't he? Nah, I wouldn't do that. And then all of a sudden we find out that he did. And all the details that we got yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get any details, did we?
I was going to say, there's no way in the world you're going to ever, in my life, I'll hopefully it lasts a while.
Yeah.
There's no way you'll ever convince me that they did not consult with the current president before they raided a past president and current, possibly presidential candidate's home.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah.
There's no way he was not aware, and possibly, I mean, he was probably even asked, you know, if it's what they think you should do or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Unless it was one of those things where, hello, Mr. President, it looks like we're going to have eggs for breakfast. It looks like everything is going to be a really good day. You don't mind if we raid Trump's house and do this and Eric Garland's Attorney General Garland's son. That's okay, right? You're good with that? Yeah. Eggs sound great. Okay, good. He approved it. Is that maybe that's how it went down? Here's a little.
You may prove to me that they get it. I believe they told him. Now, I don't believe he remembered.
when telling the president and him remembering that he was told are two completely different things. You know, let's just put it this way before we move on quickly. And I know people are watching here and certainly watching at drewsteele.com, and we appreciate you watching as well. All we can do is laugh at this point. It's so serious. It's such a blockbuster. It's so enormous that it feels like the only thing we can do is laugh about it, because if you don't laugh, you cry. Literally. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? If you don't laugh about these things, you cry because it's so serious. And here's a little nugget that a lot of people probably don't realize before we get to some of the Merrick Garland audio. Here you go. You know, they were talking about the National Archives and the records and how we have to have these boxes and boxes that Trump has, and we've got to go in there to go get them. And as a matter of fact, it's one of these things where we have to have 30 or 40 agents to go blast through there and to go rummage through the former First Lady Melania Trump's closet, which begs the question, creepy? Could be, but anyway, I digress. So all of this is happening. Does everybody realize that it was something like, and I don't have my numbers exact, but I'm pretty darn close. Do you realize it was like 40 some odd years before we got all the National Archives in the possession of, and the tapes and the paperwork of Richard Nixon? Do you realize that it was up until 2016 before we got any records from Lyndon Johnson? And when we did get the records and we did have the tapes and we do you remember that? Do you remember in 2016 when a lot of that was released and we're like, oh man, Lyndon Johnson was a creep. He wasn't exactly the nicest guy in the whole world. He was kind of a jerk, to be quite honest. And to hear some of the audio, I don't know how many people remember, but I remember when all of that was released and a lot of the things were discussed then. It was 40 some odd years where we come to find out that Barack Obama, do you know how many documents that Barack Obama has? How about millions? The talk is that the amount of paper, the amount of paperwork that Barack Obama has not given to the National Archives, has not given up, would take hundreds of years before we would able to disseminate and get this out digitally. So he has all of that in his possession. There are some things that George W. Bush is not going to be releasing anytime soon. And Donald Trump had 18 months before he was raided by the FBI. Hey, anybody got questions about that? Does that seem weird to anybody, or is it's just me? I'm on an island. These are questions, everybody. So when you are thinking that we're the tinfoil hat crazy people, and how dare we say that, and these are institutions that have been long-standing, and these are institutions that have been trusted, and how dare you say all of these things, and when you talk trash about the FBI and other three-digit bureaucracies, these are threats that could be backed up with violence, and we don't want to go. Okay, well, let's slow down for a second and let's remember how we started this all out. And when we ask these questions and we want to know why it's taken and everybody else gets the benefit of the doubt to hold on to these National Archive documents and why it is that in 18 months we're told we had to go in to get those things, it seems a little weird. It seems odd. And maybe it's because that's not what it was about. You know, the narrative now has pivoted. And we're going to get to that Washington Post, nuclear secrets, this whole pivot. And, you know, the president yesterday is like, listen, let's go. Let's get it all released. He's ready to go. He wants it out there. He wants everybody to be able to see what's out there. Not only will I not oppose the release of documents related to the un-American, unwarranted, and unnecessary raid and break into my home in Palm Beach, in Mar-a-Lago, I'm going a step further by encouraging the immediate release of those documents, even though they've been drawn up by radical left Democrats and possible future political opponents who have a strong and powerful vested interest in attacking me, much as they did for the last 6 years. Is he wrong? There are some on the left that will tell you he's wrong, but they're going to tell you that anything that he does is wrong, except $2.38 gas prices and maybe a thriving economy and inflation really super low and people buying houses and stuff. We don't want to get carried away with that because really, if we're going to be honest, things are really good right now, and we're really happy. Said nobody at all, not even Democrats necessarily. But you know, we just keep rolling with it. So. Knowing that, what is the other part of the story? So this new report from the Washington Post. So here's the thing. Now the pivot comes. And it's so crazy how we've come to this point where we have this pivot. So it went from, you know, listen, National Archives, we've got to get these into the record, and he's not doing it. And the president's like, I've been talking to them about this. This is no problem. And so all of a sudden they're raiding because we got to have those National Archive records. But then it's like, why are all these other presidents still being able to hold on to it for years and years and decades? Okay, well, that's because now we've changed the narrative. Now you busted us on that one. So now we have a new report from the Post that indicates that the materials being sought by the FBI were far more than just presidential records. Nope. Apparently, it's a matter of grave national security. So there we Okay. Classified documents relating to nuclear weapons were among the items the FBI agents sought in a search of former President Trump's residence. Did you all heard about this? Now it's become it's nuclear secrets. Experts in classified information said the unusual search underscores deep concern among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. Because that's what this president has done for so long, given you the idea that he wants to pass on nuclear secrets. Now, either this is the real deal, Donald Trump has duped us all, and it's unbelievable how well he has done this, and we're all going to walk away, and we're going to walk the walk of shame, and we're going to have our tails between our legs or whatever else between our legs. Well, we don't want to get carried away. But now, this would be a huge, huge problem. Or we got a whole lot of problems with this theory. And Red State had a great piece on this and kind of breaking it down about the problems with this. The first one is, how or why did it take government agencies 18 months after Trump left office to determine that they were gone? And it's like, hey, it's 18 months. I'm looking at my watch, and it's like, hey, have you guys seen those nuclear secrets? Does it feel like I had this on my desk? The nuclear secrets are right here on my desk. There was a briefcase right here on my desk, and it's gone. Has anybody been in here? That kind of thing. So that's the kind of thing that if you've lost track of that, maybe we have questions for you. The people that have lost track of nuclear secrets. You shouldn't do that. So that's part of it, right? The second problem, if there were any in Trump's possession and not in the capable hands of the intelligence community, then Trump is really messed up here. If this is as serious as the Post and their sources say it is, then this is the sort of information foreign powers will do anything to get their hands on. So you don't just stick it in a closet and forget about it. And if it turns out to be true and Trump has it, then the Republican Party really needs to rethink its commitment to Trump. The GOP is usually on the side of strong national security, not actively working against it. So if this is really happening and Trump's got this in Melania's closet because he's like, nobody's going in Melania's closet to look for nuclear secrets. This is the best place to keep this. Do you honestly think that Donald Trump is like, hey, put him in Melania's closet, we'll hide that? And then the third problem on that note, if this is as serious as the Justice Department sources are making it out to be, then man, why are you leaking it to the press? Why are you telling the whole world that the president has been passing on secrets, nuclear secrets, and the thing is, what does he have in his possession? And if you think about all of that and you put it together as Red State makes the point, this is literally something that could get somebody killed, because you talk about the balance of global powers, you talk about the idea that we are in that kind of disarray where a former president would start passing on nuclear secrets, and then now you have people like Russia and Taiwan who have ambitions, Iran who has ambitions. You have all of this coming out. Do you really want all of this out? You could have done this in a different way to keep all of this under wraps so that the rest of the world doesn't look at you and say, this is a time where the United States is vulnerable. Does that make sense? In other words, it doesn't make sense? So yeah, you're following it. I'm looking at the audience right now, and there's just one gentleman in the corner here who shook his head no. He's like, so you were shaking your head no, I can't believe this is happening, not no, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, good. Just trying to clarify that. So again, think about all of these things. And the biggest is, if you are the intelligence community, if you truly do care about the safety and security of the United States, do you do something like this and then knowing that people are going to call attention to you and this warrant, that you want to keep everything secret, knowing that it's going to have to be released, it's going to be demanded after everything we've seen in the past 4 or 5 years with Russiagate and the like? Wouldn't you do it in some other way in order to keep us safe and keep this a secret, pretty much, behind closed doors? Like, we'll take care of this, but we don't want the rest of the world to know. So that's an interesting point. And there's some other things in this article that we'll get to later on this morning. Plus, coming up in just a little bit, we'll have the Merrick Garland audio, in case you missed it, from yesterday, and some of the things that he had to say and some of the things that he didn't say. So we'll get to that. Also, let's see, what else is coming up this morning? Here's some exciting news that I don't know if anybody heard about. Evan Brown, Fox News Radio, is scheduled to join us at 8:05 with a report on, I don't know if you all are ready for this, but there's another, how do I put this in the right way so we don't freak everybody out? China's discovered something else that's killing people in China, and it seems like it's another virus. Yeah, I know. I see you squinting. I know. Here we go again. So what, is this real? Is this really happening? Is there another thing that's out there we have to worry about? I don't know. Evan's going to have the details on that coming up. All right. 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC Talkin' text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. We always appreciate you watching, subscribing to the podcast, subscribing to the channel on Rumble, and if you want to watch on facebook.com/drewsteeleradio, always appreciated. Maybe we'll take some of your calls. Ian's going to hook me up with the call screen. We'll take some calls if you would like. Coming up later on this morning, scheduled, Lee County Commissioner Brian Habit, Evan Brown, Fox News Radio, with that crazy story, which we're going to cross our fingers and just believe it's a couple of people that are sick. That's really all it is in China. Nothing to worry about. All up next, Daybreak 92.5 Fox News live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in Naples. We'll see you in just a few minutes. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Awesome. Sorry, Ian, I hope you don't mind. I always like when you crack the mic, so hope I didn't surprise you. When are we scheduled to come back? Like 36? What's up? No, 7:30. I'm going to try to get the Byron interview for 6:30, see if I can play it from here. If not, then it's just the next time would be 7:30.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, we are live at Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. We are here for our first Friday of the month, and you're saying to yourself, well, it's not the first Friday, it's the second Friday. That's because we're making up last week. We were at CPAC, so we're so happy people are arriving now and coming by to hang out with us. Stop by, grab some coffee and some breakfast. You know, you've got the freshest fruits and vegetables here. You got the amazing selection of Braveheart beef. You've got all kinds of things to shop for, and even Jake the Millennial. You can stop by and say hi to him if you want, because Jake is here. How about that? All right, before we get into some of the other issues going on, including Merrick Garland and what he said yesterday, and the raid on Mar-a-Lago, and also some of the other news stories. Yesterday, we had a chance to speak with Congressman Byron Donalds about this very issue, about not only the raid on Mar-a-Lago and his thoughts on that, but also the fact of voting on this huge Inflation Reduction Act and some of the things that are in it. We got into that as well yesterday. And we started off the conversation by talking about how the President of the United States said we had zero inflation for the month of July, zero. And I said, hey, maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt, because somebody told him, look, it's a 0% inflation for the month of July, although the month of June it was 17% inflation. So, you pick and choose your numbers. But maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's how we started out the conversation yesterday with Congressman Byron Donalds. So, Ian, let's roll that right now.
Doing good. How you doing, Drew?
So we give them a little benefit of the doubt and then
Perfect spot. All right, we are live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. It is our makeup day for our first Friday of the month at Oaks Farm Seed to Table, where there is no place better than Oaks Farm. You know, you can get your Braveheart beef here. You know, they got an amazing seafood selection, the fresh fruits and vegetables, the freshest ever. You can come here and grab some coffee, some breakfast with us. Jake the millennial is here. You could say hi to Jake. And Jake got himself, a breakfast burrito? Is that what you got? I don't have the mic hooked up, so I can't even... Breakfast burrito? Oh, and biscuits and gravy. So he got two, everybody. So won't it be exciting? So for the rest of the program, I'm just going to have Jake up here, and all we're going to do is watch Jake eat. So that's it. I'm going to stop talking, and it's just going to be a whole show of Jake eating, which is something that has been in demand by nobody. Sorry. Okay. 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC talking text line in a couple of minutes. 7:35 to be exact. Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond will join us live. A lot of things that are going on within the county we'll talk about. 8:05, Evan Brown, Fox News Radio, is going to join us because there's a new virus in China, everybody, that's killing people. And is this really true? Well, Evan's going to give us the details, and we'll find out. All right, so what else is going on? We find out today that Merrick Garland's got some goods. We got some nuclear codes. We got what? I don't know. All I know is that we know for a fact that we can trust any of the alphabet bureaucracies. How do we know? Because the media told us, right?
The FBI is a conservative-leaning law enforcement organization, and we've sort of lost the thread on that in the past 6 years.
These attacks against the FBI, these attacks against the most important federal law enforcement agency
Less
in
than
America.
24 hours after a peaceful search that they gave them a heads up on.
Okay, that's just part of it.
Peaceful search.
It's all legal. It's all lawful. It's not a raid. They didn't. They're not there improperly or unlawfully.
The Justice Department is returning to its historical position as a law enforcement agency.
Okay, that's enough. All right, so you've got probably about 3 minutes of the media saying, listen, you can't give criticism to the FBI. They're doing the right thing in the DOJ and getting back to preserving what is the Constitution. And the FBI is as clean as the wind-driven snow. So that's all we need to know. Everything is absolutely, positively fine. And there's Merrick Garland yesterday who wants to let everybody know that, listen, let him talk.
Agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter.
That's a very interesting point Merrick Garland made yesterday as he delivered remarks on the search warrant executed. As President Trump let everybody know about it, and obviously when you've got 30 or 40 agents showing up at your house, everybody is going to know that something's going on, and then you find out there's a search warrant, and people are saying, look, Merrick Garland didn't sign off on this, and then Merrick Garland's like, yeah, I signed off on it, and not only that, now we're going to get ready to talk about what's in that search warrant because, well, the president said, hey, I got served a search warrant and I want to know what's in it. Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, maybe we should tell everybody what's in it. Is that what's going to happen? Are we really going to find out everything that's in that warrant? What else?
Faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy.
Well, he got half of it right. It is our democracy, and that's what we're concerned about, and the faithful adherence to the rule of law. The bedrock principle of the DOJ. There might be some questions about DOJ and FBI and Russiagate. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did. We got questions. Listen, you haven't exactly given us a whole lot of faith in these alphabet institutions and bureaucracy. Sorry.
Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor.
That is correct. So anybody out there who says we didn't go after Hillary Clinton smashing, wiping servers clean, what, with a cloth? Yeah, okay, right. And smashing servers and smashing all the phones and everything else. You remember how everybody went after Hillary Clinton. You all remember, right, when the FBI raided Hillary Clinton's home there? Do you remember the raid, everybody? You don't remember the raid because it never happened, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Everybody remembers the raid after the Hunter Biden laptop and the raiding of Hunter. Oh, you don't remember that either? Oh, that's because it didn't happen. That's right. I'm so sorry. But we do uphold the law and apply it evenly. So just want to let you know that Merrick Garland says that. So go ahead.
Under my watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing.
It's really hard to take him seriously after just that little bit that I gave up to you. How hard is it to take him seriously? It is impossible to take him seriously. And again, now, before the presser, we find out there's more. all right, it's Orange Man bad and, Orange Man wearing an orange suit. Get what I did there? How the left likes to say that? Yeah, and now it might be a nuclear protective suit because he's the only one. He's cornered the market. Donald Trump, as former president, has cornered the market on protective nuclear suits now because according to the Washington Post, apparently they're looking for nuclear documents now because that's what he's doing? What? Deep concern among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. And now the discussion is about nuclear secrets or something like this. So get ready, everybody. How many people love the Schiff Show? How many people love seeing Adam Schiff, the Schiff Show? You all love the Schiff? Nobody loves the Schiff Show. As a matter of fact, there's some people that are throwing up in their mouth a little bit from hearing Schiff's name, which is really a sad thing because everybody knows that the Schiff Show is coming and remember how Russiagate worked, everybody. With the Schiff Show, it was like, we've got damning information. Really? Can we see some of it? You can't see any of it because it's top secret and we can't allow anybody to know what's going on here, but we've got the information. And then when he goes behind the scenes at a skiff and he talks to people behind the scenes, behind the closed doors, he's like, yeah, we don't have anything. Sorry about that. And then he gets in front of the camera, he's like, we got all kinds of stuff, but we can't tell you what it is. So that's what we're going to be up for now. So remember something else as well, an important piece here. The Presidential Records Act that they said that they went in for, that was supposedly the pretext. We went in there because it was the Presidential Records Act. And then now it's like, no, that's not what it was. It was actually nuclear secrets. The pretext for this, it's not criminal. It's not a criminal statute. If it were, then we would have all kinds of presidents that would be locked up right now because, like I mentioned before, you have presidents like Nixon and LBJ and Barack Obama and others who have not given these presidential documents, these presidential records. They have not handed them over, and they seem to be doing just fine. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama, last time I checked, was staying away from the coasts, buying new homes because of climate change, because everybody knows the sea rise is coming, and you certainly wouldn't want to buy a $15 million home on the shore because that thing would be underwater. Unless, of course, you're Barack Obama, which is exactly what you did because, climate change is a hoax. Did I say that out loud? I'm so sorry. No, the climate changes all the time. The sea rise. Here's the best part, everybody. This is what I love about money. And this is what I love about the United States and Democrats and climate change, and it's this. If you combine Democrats with climate change with huge billion-dollar deals that have to do with lots of money that are going to go towards climate change, we, as the United States of America, can stop sea rise. We can stop the climate from changing just by throwing enough money at it. Did you all know that? If we just keep throwing cash at it, all of a sudden the seas are just going to go down. Mother Nature's like, hey, I had no idea you had this kind of money. That kind of thing, which is a joke. So what are we going to see now? Again, another part of this, which is, and I want to move on in just a bit, is that I mentioned this, and many people are starting to talk about this as well. Think about this for a second. What if the reason why they were going for these quote-unquote nuclear secrets, the reason why they had the pretext that had to do with the National Archives, what if it's really about declassified information from the Russiagate, the Russian collusion hoax, and declassified information? Now, the president, the former President Trump, declassifying this information. What if those boxes and boxes and boxes are not really nuclear secrets or anything else? But what if it's actually boxes and boxes and boxes of the declassification of exactly what happened with Russiagate? If it's a declassification of exactly what happened with the Clinton email scandal, and what if those boxes were around? And let's just say it was because of the pretext of going after the National Archives. Let's say it is nuclear secrets that they were concerned about, and they knew exactly where this information was. Well, if they stumble upon these boxes filled with this information after 9 hours of investigating the house and they find it, they can take it. Remember, that's okay. If they go in looking for one thing and they find something else, they can take that something else when it comes to what they believe to be criminal activity, and they can take that with them. And who's to say that they did or didn't do that? And All of these points have to be remembered. 9 hours there rummaging through Melania's closet, which maybe there were some creepy FBI agents that were like, hey, can I go into her closet really and check out some stuff? Because everybody knows if you're going to hide nuclear secrets, you hide it in a blouse. But that's besides the point. The other thing, too, is if you're going through 9 hours and you believe you have the specific information of where something is, you have to have someone on the inside who knows this. And the talk has been, remember the whole talk of a mole? There's a mole in Mar-a-Lago. Is there a mole in Mar-a-Lago? Well, that was brought up by Jackie Heinrich in a thread that Brett Baer retweeted. And I want to read this to you, because this is an interesting thing as well. A federal law enforcement, this is from Jackie Heinrich from Fox News, and she had a thread on Twitter that said a federal law enforcement source tells her that probable cause for the search warrant very likely came from a Secret Service member. What? From the source, to obtain a criminal search warrant, the government must identify, number one, the specific item to be seized. How are they going to know unless there's somebody on the inside? Two, the specific location of that item. How would they know where that specific location is unless there was somebody on the inside? And three, that specific item is at the specific location at that precise moment. This evidence is typically obtained in one of two ways. A Title III wiretap, intercepting conversations, and or a well-placed source giving real-time information to law enforcement. So what is being said by this source is either he's being wiretapped or there's somebody on the inside who says they know where this information is. At Mar-a-Lago, Trump is surrounded by two types of people, either political loyalists, people that he's close with or friends with, or two, a law enforcement officer in the Secret Service. Only the law enforcement officers would have an ethical and or legal duty to report observations of criminal conduct to fellow law enforcement officers. Therefore, it would seem more likely than not that the probable cause for the search warrant was based on information provided by the President's Secret Service security detail. Can you imagine? Because people have said just the other day, he needs his own security. Like, he has to divest himself from anything and anybody. When people think about this for a second as well, I mean, and it's a scary thought to think that there would be somebody in the Secret Service that would be doing this for the country. They seem to have found something. So two things going on here. Number one, you have somebody on the inside who's willing to report on something that they have discovered. And in the past, how many people have said to you, and you've heard about, why is it that the president so desperately wants to have his daughter and his sons so close to him, maybe even as part of the administration? Remember Jared Kushner and Ivanka, and remember how the talk was all about bringing them into the administration, and it's like, you can't do this, you can't have family members be part of the administration or helping, and everybody was beside themselves. Do you realize that those are probably the closest people in his life that he could bring in? Because everybody seems around him wants to do something to get rid of him. So what you need to have is you need to have a close circle of people you can trust, and it could possibly be that his family is the only ones that he can trust. That's a sad thing to say, but you see how many people write books and all of a sudden end up on CNN and all of a sudden are doing all these other kind of things, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought you were a trusted... No, not necessarily. And then the second part is when it comes to the Secret Service and security and pointing out specific things, what if it's the opposite? Some people have said this to me. They said it to me yesterday, and I thought, I don't know. I'll just throw this out there for your edification, for your perusal, for your thought on this. Check this out. Somebody said, you've got a president who has been worried for the longest time about people that have been watching him, have been on the inside, that ultimately write books and perpetrate these horrible lies about him. He threw food against the wall because he was so upset. You know, the January 6th committee is like, yeah, okay, I'm going to throw like a pancake breakfast across the wall because I'm so mad. Like all of these ridiculous things that Cassidy and other people were making during the J6 committee and all of this. And you have this distrust of people that are close to you, but you know that somebody may or may not be on the inside who wants to get intel, whether it's phone calls or whether it's Secret Service. What if this is in reverse? What if enough people who really do appreciate the former president have trust that he has trust in and that really do want to do the right thing by the president? What if they're like, you know, there's a way to find out if there's a mole in Mar-a-Lago. You could make up something like having nuclear secrets in a box. You could even make up that the box is in Melania's closet. You could even make up the fact that the box that has the nuclear secrets was in this room, and I'm getting ready on Tuesday to move the box into the closet because I'm heading out of town. And what if somebody did that, and that was the point, and they were making calls on it, and also maybe some Secret Service agents or some people on the inside hearing all of this and saying, we got him, everybody, we got him. And he leaves, and they raid. Well, that would expose a mole, wouldn't it? I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that's the case. People have said it to me, but it is an interesting proposition that what if it's the other way around? It's an easy way to catch a mole is to lie about something and say, hold on, we all know that this is a lie. And if somebody says they're coming in with a warrant over something that we lied about, then we know we got a mole. So it's almost a way to find the mole. And then ultimately, there are no nuclear secrets. And then the FBI and the DOJ are caught with nothing. They've got nothing because what they talked about was actually a dupe. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. A little entertainment. It's like a movie, everybody. All of this plays out like a really bad movie. All right, 239-479-5592. Oh, and if you're wondering how the polling looks, like people are thinking, oh man, this has got to be really bad. The J6 committee, the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Well, according to Politico and Morning Consult, in the wake of the FBI's Mar-a-Lago search, 58% of the GOP would support Trump in the 24 presidential primary today. That's the highest on record since his 2020 loss. So if you think this is hurting him with members of the GOP, you might want to think again because it's actually helping. How weird that is. It's like this operation against Trump is actually helping him. Okay, so there you go. All right, coming up in a couple of minutes, we will speak with Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond. He's going to join us in just a minute, so we'll find out more about what is happening there in Lee County. Plus, Evan Brown is going to join us, Fox News Radio at 8:05. And then some other fun stories we have, including the possibility that Disney now has some of their own issues. And are they having their own Don't Say Gay policy movement against them? We'll have that coming up and some other stories on the way. It is Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We are live at Oaks Farm Seed, the table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. We appreciate you stopping by here for our makeup day for our first Friday. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Oh, sorry, I got him here. I got him under control. He's on computer, so all good. Thank you. All right, here we are live, Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. We got a nice crowd today. We appreciate everybody stopping by to say hi. Our makeup day, our first Friday makeup, because people are saying, it's not the first Friday. What are you doing there? Well, it's a makeup because last week we were at CPAC, so we thought, well, we can't miss this, and we're not. And so people stopping by, grabbing coffee, grabbing breakfast, a fantastic breakfast, anything you want. They've got it right here at Oaks Farm Seed the Table. Maybe you want fresh fruits and vegetables for breakfast. They have the freshest, as you know. What an amazing selection. Alfie Oaks is incredible what he has created here. And by the way, if you have never been to Seed the Table, it'll change your world. It just changes your world. It does. The entertainment nightly when you come by, you've got all kinds of great entertainment. So stop by, maybe get your weekend started with buying some fantastic beef or seafood or whatever the case may be. There is no place like Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in Naples. All right, speaking of there's no one like it, how about Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond? There's nobody like him as he is joined us. How about a nice round of applause, Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond joining us. He can't see you, but he hears you.
I hear you, yeah. Well, thanks. You're right, Drew. There is nobody like me, just one of a kind.
No, and humble. It's the humility. It's Brian Hammond's humility.
Yeah, absolutely. I joke about this all the time. I joke that I'm the most humble person I know, right?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
It's a joke.
I know, of course. People, we got to laugh. If we don't laugh, we cry, and we don't need to cry anymore. Seriously. Okay, a lot of things that are happening with the county. By the way, the chamber. I know yesterday, Chamber of Commerce, a little get-together last night. How did that go? How did the community respond? Good response yesterday?
Well, thank you. Yeah, you may have heard I was offered the opportunity and accepted it to be the new president and CEO of the Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. We had our first big event last night since I took over at the helm, and it was our business awards. I got to tell you, Drew, our community is stronger when our business community is strong, and we gave out some great awards. The big one of the night went to Terry Hansen from Priority Marketing. She has done over $4 million of pro bono marketing and public relations work for local nonprofits around here in her more than 30 years. She's a Fort Myers native. We also celebrated our small business and large business of the year. So really just a great night. More than 220 people came together. We sold the event out. Wow. And I got to tell you, our business community is really doing great here in Lee County, Florida.
No doubt about it. And of course, well, we know that great businesses here in Southwest Florida and certainly a growing community. And that takes me right to what we're going to talk about this morning. Talk about growth. When you got lots of growth like we do, we need lots of infrastructure, and we need fixing some of what we have. And so there's some major road projects that I'm hearing about that we're getting fast tracked. So talk about some of what is coming up in the county.
Yeah, the biggest news that we got last week was that a big project, the Burnt Store Road widening, is going to be moved up by potentially 5 years. So there's still a gap on Burnt Store Road where it's still only 2 lanes. That's kind of right in front of the Burnt Store Marina in Cape Coral, right at that Cape Coral and Charlotte County border. And so the program or the project to widen that actually wasn't supposed to come until 2030. And look, we need the roads now. We're growing fast. We need the roads now. Yeah. And because of this, the Florida Department of Transportation got some federal dollars from this infrastructure bill. They're going to put it towards this project. And commissioners have been asked to speed up our design and our acquisition of the right-of-way there. And so we're doing that. We put that in the budget for the fiscal year 23-24. And hopefully this will move this project up by 5 years, and we'll get people driving on a wider road out there in Burnt Store Road in Cape Coral.
So you got the Burnt Store area, you've got other areas as well that have been studied, and now we're getting close to final phases on some areas as well out in where is it, Cape Coral? Is that what we're looking at?
Well, Burnt Store Road is in Cape Coral,
Right.
absolutely. If you look in the southern part of the county, Corkscrew Road, so right there on the border of Estero, man, that is one of the fastest growing areas of the county.
Yes, it is.
Corkscrew Road has needed to be widened for a while, and so that project is underway. Lord willing, you'll be driving on a widened Corkscrew Road by the fall of 2023. We believe that project will be wrapped up. What it's going to do is we're going to widen it out to 6 lanes at first. At the beginning part closer to I-75, and then we're going to smooth it down to 4 lanes. These are not technical transportation terms I'm using here, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some engineer out there having a heart attack. But we're going to build a wider road. It's going to basically be between Ben Hill Griffin Parkway and Alico Road. It's about 4.4 miles that we're going to widen of Corkscrew Road. Right now they're doing some of the environmental work. We've got to build a bridge that the wildlife can cross under and that the water can flow underneath the road. We've done a lot of work. Commissioners have done a lot of work environmentally in this southeastern part of the county to get the water flow restored as it used to flow. And we want to make sure that the new road doesn't disrupt that.
Man, so if the completion of that phase 1 is fall 23, then are we starting to see things breaking ground now, or are we starting to...
Oh, yeah, they're under construction right now,
Okay.
doing all that work. And you'll see them out there working on those wildlife crossings and underground work right now. You'll see them out there doing that.
Any updates on my favorite place in the whole world, the intersection there in Lee County at Colonial? What we got going on by the Topgolf? Are we getting... it seems like every time... I have to admit, it seems like every time I pass that area, there's something new that just happened. Like it seems like it's moving, it's flowing really, really well.
Yeah, the Florida Department of Transportation is running that project, and they are doing a great job. They're moving very efficiently. You can see as you drive through the intersection now that the divergent diamond is taking shape.
Yep.
That's basically where, if you look at the road from an aerial picture, it's going to form an X. As you drive underneath that interchange, you're going to see how traffic will cross onto the left side of the road and flow onto the interchange onto I-75 in a much more efficient manner than it does today. It sounds weird to explain, but I'm telling you, they did one in Sarasota near that University Town Center Mall.
Yep.
And it's amazing, and it's been working well up there, and we believe this one at Colonial is going to work just as well. And really, when you're driving on the road, you don't even notice it. If you just follow the signs, you don't even notice that that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you actually when you see it, you're thinking, this can't work. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And then when you do it, you see how it flows. It's pretty amazing. So great work, and the sooner we get this thing done, the better. And obviously, it's flowing really well. So that's good news. Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. So some news out of Lehigh. So what's this mobility on demand service? What's going on here with this?
Yeah, we had talked about this a little bit earlier this year, too. We trialed a project in Bonita Springs to ditch the big bus for Lee-Tran and use a smaller bus. They call it the Ultra. And this bus will go around. You can schedule it through the Uber app or through the Lee-Tran app, and it will come and pick you up for $1.50 and take you door to door. And so the program has been so successful in Bonita Springs, we now got a grant from the Florida Department of Transportation to expand it into Lehigh Acres. So the service is expected to begin next year in Lehigh Acres. But basically how it's going to work is we'll have routes that they'll be like service zones. And if you're anywhere within this service zone, you can hit the Uber app, you can call this thing called the Ultra, and it'll take you for $1.50 door to door where you're going. We believe this is one way we can help traffic. We believe this is one way we can help people get to work who maybe have needs for transportation. So I think this is a great way of making our Lee-Tran system, our public transit system, be more efficient and more adaptable to our community. You know, we're not set up like a major metro area like New York City.
Yeah, that is true, and you don't even get me started about starting small and ending big in Southwest Florida, because that's always been something that has been on my mind, is the fact that I appreciate that there are some people that want to anticipate growth and want to do things like when it comes to public transportation and have big giant buses and the like, and I like the idea of starting where we are and then building our way up, and so it just seems to be more efficient, and to get to that place to me is important. By the way, a little aside, and I might even bring everybody, the audience that's here at Oaks Farm Seed to table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road, where we are broadcasting live. You ready for this? Is it routes or routes? Oh, a little controversy, everybody. All right, show of hands. How many people say it is routes? It's a route. How many people say it's a route? Ooh, all right. I'm not going to tell you what I see, but the definitive answer on this is Ian Hicken, who is there at the studio right now. Ian Hicken is a student of the English language, and so I go to Ian for everything that has to do with this. Ian, the definitive answer right now, is it route or is it route, Ian?
Ian has said that.
Okay, Kat. So it's Kat. All right. Go ahead, Kat. Tell us what's going on. Is it route or route?
Grammatically, it is route.
Okay, well, Kat, I got to be honest with you. They're applauding. Look, hold on a second. I don't know what Kat's official title is when it comes to knowing the English language. I know Ian is the. Okay, well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Could you be a grammar person? Does it have to be? Do we have to be so militant? Can we be? I don't know. Anyway, all right. When Ian gets back, have him interrupt me, because I always like when he does that anyway. All right, Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond. By the way, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good.
I think I was team root. I was rooting for root.
Just to let you know that apparently, according to the audience, it's route and not route. Okay. But I don't know. Again, we'll ask Ian. Some of the ridiculous things we talk about here on Daybreak. All right. Now, let's talk about this real quick before we get going here. I know that and for the longest time, one of the things that is frustrating about being outdoors in Southwest Florida is not just Sahara dust. See what I did there? Which is driving me crazy. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I'm having a hard time seeing lately. I got these, no joke, I have like I have different degrees of reading glasses that I carry around. I got 1.5s, I got 2.5s. I got them in different drawers all over the house. It seems like lately I need all different ones, and I'm blaming the Sahara dust. So, but the other thing that bothers me is the heat. And when you don't have a covered, like a shade structure at a park, you bring your kids to the park or you go someplace, you like to have those shade structures. So is there something that's happening? Well, of course there is. That's why I'm bringing it up. What's the county doing about that? Go ahead.
Well, you've had this experience. I know I have, where you get to the park and the slide is actually like blazing hot, and you don't even want your kids to get on the playground equipment at that point.
Right.
So what we've decided to do, the commissioners decided to put shade over all of the playgrounds throughout the entire county. And so it was a 3-year.
Sorry, I'm applauding. I don't know if anybody else cares. I'm applauding that because to me, that's money well spent, where I don't have to do anything about my son's burns on his legs because he's climbing around or whatever. Anyway.
Oh, the best example of this, too, we've already got one finished. It's in North Fort Myers, right behind the North Fort Myers Library and Recreation Center. We have a North Fort Myers Community Park there.
Right.
And this is I'm not talking about the little sails. Like, this is a full-on shade structure. The entire playground is under shade. And you can just hang out under there. The kids can play under there. The equipment is going to last a lot longer because the sun's rays aren't, like, beating down on it. And as a father, I got to tell you, I just love seeing parents and kids getting out there and having a good time on these, county facilities. We build these things to try and improve your quality of life, and watching people enjoy them is something that warms my commissioner heart, if that's a thing.
So you have a commissioner heart as opposed to any other heart. It's different. It's a little stronger. It's a little thicker. The walls are a little thicker because they need to be sometimes.
There you go. Yeah, it's like a servant's heart. I love that. That's at least, listen, we're here to serve you guys. And so over the next year, we're going to do 10 more parks. And then by the end of 2023, it'll be we'll have all of them done. And we want to just, look, it's Florida, it's hot outside. We want to make sure that people can enjoy these county facilities that we have used their tax dollars to build. And we want them to be able to do it year round. So these shade structures are going to be really important.
Right, no doubt. Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond, anything else you want to touch on? Anything in the news that's been tickling your fancy that you're like, hey, I got to speak about this because I've got the microphone and the platform and I just want to get it off my chest? Could be anything. I don't care. What could be food related, could be life related,
No,
whatever.
I'll tell you what. I love what you guys have been talking about on just really driving home the fact that the government thinks it can spend enough money to change the weather. I mean, that's insane.
Well,
with the climate change stuff. I mean, look, everybody knows we should take care of our environment. Everybody knows, especially here in Southwest Florida, our environment's one of the big attractions. But to think that the government could spend enough money that we could create enough rules that we're going to change the weather, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I might
As Joe says, come on, man.
Come on, man, like Joe says. And by the way, just an aside, for anybody in the future, a long ways away, if you're running for office or whatever the case may be, you don't have to tell us that you care about water quality. Because I know you do. Of course you do. You're living and breathing. Everybody cares about water quality. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican. We all care about it. There's nobody, I promise you, there's nobody sitting here going, my name is Joe Blow, and I am a Republican, and I can't stand water quality. I hate the environment, and I hope it all burns. I mean, nobody's doing that, so you don't have to say anything. It's fine. We understand. Of course you do. We all care about it. And also, just because you're a Democrat doesn't make you somehow you care more about the unless, of course, you're hugging trees. Then if you're physically hugging trees, then you certainly are a Democrat. But other than that, we all care about the environment. We certainly want to take care of it. And we also do want to find out more about what is happening and what isn't happening with regard to the environment and the things that we can do to help within reason and not too carried away. The money and the more money you spend doesn't mean that all of a sudden Miami's not going to be underwater now, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. That was Inflation Reduction Act for about 10 seconds until they flipped it into a Climate Change Act. And now Miami's going to be just fine, everybody. Isn't that wonderful? Because we spent $400 billion. Like, that's a joke.
Go
ahead.
And on your point about the clean water, there's a famous story from former Commissioner Larry Kiker, who passed away a couple years ago, but I love telling this story because Larry was a good friend. Commissioner Kiker went up to Washington, D.C. to actually testify on water quality one day, and it was a beautiful story. He just tells the committee, all right, I want, by a show of hands, who here's for clean water? Raise your hand. And then who here's for dirty water? Raise your hand. And then nobody raised their hand, of course. And he says,
right.
That ends my presentation.
That's
it. That's the presentation.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So, I mean, he was a good guy, and the commissioners have worked really hard. You should see the amount of money we spend every year with our Natural Resources Department to build filter marshes here. A big part of what causes water quality issues in the Caloosahatchee River is runoff, from the development and the homes that we've all built and lived in here.
Sure.
And so we build these filter marshes that intercept the water before it goes into the river, and they clean it. The vegetation that we plant on these filter marshes actually sucks up all of the nutrients and the fertilizers that's in the water, and then clean water goes into the Caloosahatchee River. And we've made real progress over the last few years with this. And so we do use your money wisely to try and clean the water that goes into the Caloosahatchee River.
All right, everybody. Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We appreciate you, Brian. All right, all the best.
Thanks, Drew. Have a great morning.
All right, you do the same. All right, let's take a break right now. 239-479-5592. As we are live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. Let's find out what's happening with Belinda Post. She's got your traffic. Awesome, thanks. So Eben Brown will be calling at 8:07, and he'll be calling you at the studio. He won't be calling me, just so you know. Excellent. That's a good thing. Hey, do me a favor. When Eben calls, ask him what the topic is and then just text me because it changed on him. I think it changed from what I was going to talk about to something else, but just double check for me. You could say it on the talk back as long as I'm not on the air, or you could text me. All right. Okay. All right, we are live. Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in beautiful Naples. How do I know? Because we got a whole crowd of people having breakfast, enjoying some coffee, maybe on their way to work or dropping the kids off or whatever the case may be. We just appreciate you being here for our first Friday of the month, which is actually the second Friday because we're making up for the first Friday that we missed because of CPAC last week. So thanks for being here. Coming up in just a little bit is Disney now woke themselves out of being woke. What am I talking about? Well, you'll find out in just a minute. Also, Eben Brown is scheduled to join us, Fox News Radio, in just a little bit, although I don't know. So we'll find out. Ian will let me know back at the studio whether or not he calls. So when he does, we will join him in progress, or he will join us in progress. So, a lot of people have been talking about some of the things that the media has been saying. Oh, okay, he is on. All right, so we've kind of all right. So we've got him. So Eben Brown, Fox News Radio. Hey, everybody! A nice round of applause for Eben Brown, Fox News Radio, joining us for the first time live at Oaks Farm Seed the Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road. It's always, I know it's been a little while, but we always appreciate having our friend Eben on with us. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm so glad to be here on the stage with you. I got the invite invited me.
Yes. Yeah, well, I was hoping you were going to be here in person. I didn't know you were going to be over the phone. I was like, people came here. It did. The invite got lost in the. My account got hacked, and so if you got something about clowns and bunnies, it was an accident. I don't think that's what. If I got hacked, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be clowns and bunnies, but one could hope. All right, some serious stuff going on. It's funny because I was going to talk about something else, but let's bring this up right now. The latest, obviously, as the news changed yesterday afternoon and overnight, maybe give us the latest on Mar-a-Lago and Merrick Garland and what we've got right now. What's the latest?
Well, we're waiting to see if the federal magistrate judge in West Palm Beach
Oh, good. Yeah, so a couple of things come to mind. The first thing is we don't know. There's no timeline. You haven't heard any timeline to where this warrant would be, the information would be released. We don't know anything there, right? Specifically, it's just possibly some. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the second thing too is with the Washington Post story. So the story has shifted. It appears, it was National Archive not National Archive information that wasn't released. Some people questioned about the length of time that presidents have held. Some have held for decades. The National Archive information, so that comes into question. So then a lot of people feel like all of a sudden it shifted. I wonder why they didn't say that to begin with. Like, if this was about secrets, why didn't they say it to begin with? Has anybody said anything about that, how it shifted?
Often the policy of investigating by the FBI, we don't talk about the process of
Right. Yeah, the searching, this, as some have said, the searching of the crime before, it's like looking for a crime as opposed to we have it. Right. 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 Sure. Right. Yeah, and I wonder if we're going to get any more from the White House today, if we're going to get any more on this through the weekend, and what some would say, and even in Congress, what some people have already talked about. Everybody has taken their sides, and again, as more information comes out and how it's been changing, it feels like it's been changing by the minute as far as what this was all about, right? Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hey, do you need to run? You need to go right now? Yeah, I know you're busy. Okay, go run. Don't run, walk. Oh, take a plane. You're in Florida. Take a plane. It's easier. You could. I didn't know I had one. Wow, this is news. We just broke some news today. Evan Brown, Fox News Radio, everybody. Give him a nice round of applause. Come on now. All right, Evan. I'll see you soon, my friend. No, don't do that to me. Thanks. All right, he's got to go. Come on, get the hook. All right, there he goes. Evan is a great guy. He is the best. All right, 239-479-5592 is the Brett AC talking text line. Yeah, a lot of questions. There's no doubt about it that have to do with this, and we'll dig in more. Our good friend Mike Opelka will join us at the bottom of the hour, and I'm sure he's got a little bit of ditty here and there as far as this is concerned, so we'll get to that on the way, because I want to kind of flip the script a little bit and talk about some other things. So we're hearing, and that's one of the things that I thought we were going to be speaking with Eben about this morning until obviously the news changed, and how apparently we're starting to hear some kind of new virus that is coming out of China, everybody. I don't know what's going on here, but it's called the Dengue virus. Have you heard of this? Dengue, everybody. So there's this new virus now, and it comes from shrews. How many people know what a shrew is? We know that you tame them. Apparently, shrews are pretty nasty things if you have to tame them. So this new dengue virus that's found in China could be the tip of the iceberg they're talking about for undiscovered now viruses. They got a dozen cases. They're tracking the cases. They're worried about. I don't know if we've heard this before, but here we go again, just in time. Hey, how long is the election? How far away are we from it? I'm not saying that it's a weird timing, but if the timing fits. So we're keeping an eye on that story, and. Not only that, but there was a story out of Reuters where there's this brand new analysis. How about this, everybody? More Chinese women are now delaying or giving up having babies because of zero COVID hysteria in China. In other words, China has gone crazy with this zero COVID tolerance. They're not going to have it. They're locking people down, and it has inadvertently accelerated what is a possible imminent demographic collapse, as people are saying. When tyranny comes into play like this and you've got zero COVID policies, it's so weird. Like, we've just changed. What we just did, right? Just recently, here we're changing all these COVID policies now. It seems like we're changing it here. China has zero COVID going on. And now with this, it's almost as if it feels like, and this is just me talking, I'm just saying, it's just me personally, it's weird because it feels like they know something. If you've got a zero COVID policy and you're locking people up and you don't want them to leave and you're really strict about this, it's almost as if something were to come out next time, we can do this all over again. Or it can be all about tyranny, and it can be about the fact that the Chinese Communist Party has a big hand in that, and they kind of like the idea of tyranny, the idea that they can control people to the point where you're not allowed to leave your house, you can't shop, you can't do anything. Not that we would do it in this country. No, just stop it. We wouldn't get that carried away, because that's not what we do here. Hey, look at this. Hey, some Fauci audio as well. How many people want to hear the Fauci speak? Anybody want to hear? Are you applauding hearing the Fauci? Sir, are you okay? We need to up your take of fresh fruits and vegetables here at Seed the Table. Go down and grab some oranges or something. We got to do something here. All right, here's the Fauci, the latest from him. Hey, check this clip out. Let's see.
It's called the Fauci effect, which is sort of like, trust me, I don't get excited about that. I mean, it's nice, but I mean, people go to medical school now. People are interested in science, not because of me, because most people don't know me, who I am. My friends know me, my wife knows me, but people don't know me. It's what I symbolize, and what I symbolize in an era of the normalization of untruths and lies and all the things you're seeing going on in society, from January 6th to everything else that goes on. People are craving for consistency, for integrity, for truth, and for people caring about people.
Okay, so let me get this straight. He is there at, I guess, a meeting with different physicians, and he's talking about the Fauci effect and how people go to medical school, they go into science, and they're talking about science, and they're talking about the fact, and he's talking about himself, third person, that he symbolizes integrity and truth. This is Fauci. If you look up megalomaniac, like in the dictionary, is there like a picture of him next to that? I mean, are we sure? It's like, it's hard to believe that somebody would describe themselves that way, but that's right. There's a Fauci effect, and it's really about the fact that he is science, and he is trying to have integrity and truth. And hey, quadruple mask, everybody. Oh, no, only triple mask. I'm sorry, you don't need a mask. They're ridiculous. Wait, you got to go back to masking, everybody, because, he's the integrity and truth. All right, speaking of integrity of truth, you could always count on the media for integrity and truth. I'm a little concerned about Fox here bringing on a Democrat onto the program yesterday to talk about the political fallout after the FBI raid on Trump's home. And how many people have said, well, wait a second, why didn't we do this to Hillary Clinton? Why didn't we do this to Hunter Biden? Why haven't we done this to the Biden crime family? Why didn't we do this to the Clinton crime family? A lot of questions we have about this. And so check this segment out. This was on Fox yesterday. I guess they have a resident Democrat or somebody to come in to give the other side. Check this out.
Sean said something. He said, this is about classified information. Yes, sir, it is about classified information. Not only did Donald Trump himself upgrade the punishment for doing this in 2018, making it a felony to mishandle classified information like this. This man had, in those 15 boxes that were taken out of Mar-a-Lago back in February, he had documents that contained information that were so classified we could not even talk about what was contained in them.
By the way, how does this Democrat know all this? This is really weird. She's got all this information. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, but somehow there's a Democrat that's on Fox News yesterday that seems to know the whole inside scoop on exactly what are in Trump's boxes. Or maybe even Melania's closet. I don't know. Figure this one out. But wait, it gets better. Listen.
It is breaking the law. It matters.
Jessica, hold on a second. So he has documents, papers in boxes. The Chinese and the Russians can't access those boxes of information. But Hillary Clinton's server is public to the world.
Guess what? She was punished.
No, she wasn't
lost the
punished.
election.
You know what?
Yes,
Did they raid her home? Did they raid her home? Did they actually come with machine guns to her home?
Because she cooperated like a normal human being.
Okay, did you catch that? He's like, well, hold on a second. Did they raid Hillary Clinton? Don't you get it? Trump, if Trump had classified information, it's in a box. It's in his house. It's not like he's passing it around. It's in a box in his house, and it may have been even inadvertently in a box in his house. It's not going anyplace. Hillary Clinton had a server that had all kinds of information on classified information. Remember, C for classified, and she had it, and how the classified portion was kind of blotted out there, but everybody knew it was classified. We've been through this already. It was on a server, and the Chinese and the Russians, anybody could have got into that server, and her answer is they didn't need to, everybody, because she cooperated like a normal human being. Wait a second. Hillary Clinton cooperated like a normal. How many people believe that Hillary Clinton cooperated in the whole email scandal? Anybody think? I'm just wondering, because what part of the smashing of cell phones and the smashing with a hammer of actual servers and what part of with a cloth, that kind of thing, cleaning the servers? What part of that is cooperation? I don't know how she does it, but Hillary's able to do it, and she's able to bring in Democrats who say some of the most ridiculous things. It's quite amazing what we hear sometimes. All right, so what else do we have? I'm just skimming some of the headlines. Oh, all right, nothing to worry about. I don't know how many people have been concerned about social media. How many of you use social media on a regular basis? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, not YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Is that some of you, maybe? Okay, so sometimes people put things out there that can be considered hate speech. Let's remember that your hate speech is not my hate speech, right? Somebody else's hate speech could be somebody else's speech. Actually, it could be speech, period. It depends on what you think hate is. If you say something about the fact that you're not a fan of having transgenders in women's sports that are biological men, that could be hate speech considered. Maybe if you're worried about your kids' education and you're concerned about the Department of Education and how it should be abolished and we should get rid of it, and maybe we've got parents and the ability to do this on a state level and a local level, and it's not like education was never in the hands of individuals before the Department of Education came along. That could be considered some kind of hate speech. Getting rid of a three-letter bureaucracy, that is hate speech. Well, check this out. Everybody know who Klaus Schwab is? Klaus Schwab is the president of the world. I don't know if you know this, but he's the guy who is the dictator of the planet. Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum has proposed yesterday that we automate censorship of hate speech and disinformation with AI-fed subject matter experts. this might be the worst idea ever in the history of the planet. So we're going to have AI globally now look at the things that you put out on social media and decide if it's disinformation or hate speech. And then all of a sudden it's like, hello, we'd like to visit with you for a second. Hey, do you have a closet filled with Melania's clothes and maybe some boxes? We just want to come in for a couple of minutes. No big deal. Everything's fine. You're good. So I'm just telling you that we've got a world that's in disarray. We got all kinds of issues. Pray hard, pray often. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is we can fight back as long as we understand politically what is going on and recognize it. And then together, as we come together to be bold and strong, we got this. These people are nuts. We understand it. We will handle it. Don't you worry about it, especially in 22 when we all go out to vote. You all ready to vote in 22? Ready to change things? Good. All right, we got to take a break. Mike Opelka coming up next. We are going to take a break live from Oaks Farm Seed to Table at the corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road here in Naples. We'll see you when you get here. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. We got you. We're at Seed the Table, making up for last week. You got it. All right, everybody, we are live. Oaks Farm Seed to Table, corner of Livingston and Immokalee Road in Naples. It's our makeup day for our first Friday of the month. So if you're sitting saying, I had no idea, Drew, that you were going to be at Oaks Farm Seed to Table because it's the second Friday. Well, because we're making up for last week when I was at CPAC, and it was a great time that had by all. And we're so happy that you stopped by today to join us. Oaks Farm Seed to Table, what an amazing place. As you know, you've got the Braveheart beef, you've got the freshest seafood and the fruits and vegetables. You just cannot believe it. I see the display of corn out there. I got to grab myself some corn today, no doubt about it, corn on the cob. And you got coffee, you got breakfast, you got baked goods, you got the most amazing food here and fun. Don't forget about the entertainment upstairs and downstairs. You just you got to come by, and if you've never been to Seed to Table, it is an experience you do not want to miss. So we look forward to seeing you here. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for our good friend, your friend and mine, your buddy and mine, your pal and mine. Here he is. It is Mike Opelka, everybody.
Wow, that's very lovely. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel the love, although I feel left out of it.
What?
You wait till I'm not on the show with you to go to see Alfred and do a Seed to Table.
Well, but I saw you last week. We had a great time at CPAC. We learned a lot, didn't we?
We did, but it's not always about you. It's about me at Seed to Table, getting all the great food and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever.
We do deal with it. All right. Do you want to start with? Give me your angle on the whole Mar-a-Lago thing and what you've heard and what you've seen and everything that up to this point. What are your thoughts as of this moment right now as we speak?
What a load of Bravo Sierra this turned out to be. It is really amazingly disgusting. The former president came out this morning and said there's nothing about nuclear codes or nuclear information or nuclear policy that is in the paperwork. His attorney told Bill Riley and Laura Ingraham that same thing, separate interviews last night. So, Drew, if this was such an important state that we had to send 15 SUVs with 30 armed FBI agents and a safecracker to Mar-a-Lago, if this was so important, why did they wait when they did the subpoena?
I know, that's a great point. That's the other thing too. The waiting for the subpoena, the idea that it was about the records, the National Archives records. Have you seen how long it took for to get LBJ's records or Nixon's records? Oh, hey, how about Obama's records? Do we have those? Oh, we don't have them yet. And as a matter of fact, there are so many documents of his that supposedly it'll take like 100 years to digitize and get it. We're not getting anything. And there was a raid over that. So there's questions about that. And now, how about the Washington Post flip? What do you make of that?
Well, the Washington Post is irresponsible in coming out and saying this is related to nuclear. Did they flip that? I didn't catch that.
No, I mean the flip of it went from National Archives looking for that to all of a sudden it's nuclear codes that we're looking for. Yeah, the fact that they did that, yeah.
Irresponsible, number one. What they're doing with unnamed sources is irresponsible, especially in the wake of what Garland said. And what we really want today, at 3 o'clock, the judges to take into account whatever Donald Trump said about the release of the warrant and the uniform. None of that really matters. We know they went in there. We know they took all that stuff. And what we need is the underlying reason why the affidavit, that they're not going to release that. That's the only thing that's got the real free for.
Right, when we get it, because that's the other thing too, right, Mike, is that, when somebody says, well, and the former president says, go ahead, you have my permission, release it, let's see what's in it. It's going to be so heavily redacted, you're probably not going to get anything anyway because, quote unquote, national security, and then they'll make that claim. So what are you even going to see? We're going to see a lot of black lines, dark spaces. That's all we're going to get.
Yeah, it's like asking Fauci for an email. It's just going to be all that's blocked out. This is all meant to distract from destruction. That's what I call all of this. The Biden distraction from destruction campaign. And I will tell you, I'm thinking about it over and over again. Why all of this now? What happened about a year ago?
Let's see, a year ago, I had this terrible itch. Oh, wait, you mean, you're talking about, I thought you meant me. No, I don't know. What happened a year ago? Yeah, well.
But about a year ago, we had a disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan and we lost 13 Americans. That anniversary is coming
gas over $1 a gallon are 40% higher. And there's just so many things that we need to distract from that they're trying to create this diversion. And some people say they want Trump to run, and I think they've accomplished that. But Donald Trump is, as one little commentator said in 2015, Donald Trump is like Godzilla. Every time you hit him with electricity, he gets stronger.
Yeah.
And so I really believe this has done wonders for uniting the party that was having questions and Donald Trump.
By the way, did you just worried about elections and things that I'm hearing? Did you also hear about the fact that the concern right now of some is that the numbers are starting to tighten for 22? That you're starting to hear, and that's probably a function of normal politics, right? It's not just the fact that some people could be saying that to just scare people or to quote unquote have a poll out there that's showing something, but it also could be just normal politics. Of course, it's not going to be it's not that it's not going to be a win, let's say, for the House. It's not that it's not going to happen, but it's not going to be this runaway 80 to 20% blowout. It's still going to be close no matter what, because that's the makeup of the country. It's just the nature of the beast.
The country's staggering now. The House is still a chance to be a massive right away. But here's what happens if we just accurately predict it. The closer we get to the election, the more people decide that they're not undecided, and so they can take a stand. But last week when Nate Silver came out at 5:38 and said, "Hey, it looks like the Democrats now lead by a 20 percentage point in the generic ballot," you have to remember Nate Silver called the election 75% for Hillary Clinton on election day in 2016. So the guy doesn't exactly have a clean track record.
Yeah.
And I got that. And we have a poll out that shows 75% of the country thinks, believes, knows we're headed in the wrong direction. So Democrats, go ahead. Pass your ironically named Inflation Reduction Act today, which they probably will, but you're going to get absolutely hammered. And less than 90 days to 87 days later.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
By the way, Mike Opelka joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. PureOpelka.com is the website if you want to go visit and get some fun stuff there. Always great to have him on. I guess it's just the two of us talking here, so maybe I ask this question. So many people ask me, well, when all of these disastrous policies are passed, when we're talking about 87,000 IRS agents, we can turn that around. I mean, that's not a given. Just because this will be signed, it's going to happen. Just because it happens doesn't necessarily mean we can't take away those 87,000. In other words, you can't get anything done if you don't have the money. So you can take away the funding for 87,000 IRS agents. You can technically take away the funding for more FBI agents. There are things that you can do, including a Congress that would be in the hands of Republicans, bold Republicans, and a Republican president in the future that can turn a lot of this around legislatively, right? I mean, am I crazy for even thinking this, or once that idea that once it's signed off on, there's nothing we can do? Well, not necessarily. That's right. That's the problem.
And the only way to really undo this, and especially regarding the 87,000 IRS agents, many of whom will be armed with thousands of guns and millions of bullets, the only way to undo it is to make the tax code simple. As Kathleen outlined years ago, you have a postcard, and you fill out how much money you made, you pay your flat tax, and there's no deduction. I'm just hoping and praying that one day we could get to that, where everybody's got a little skin in the game and there's no wiggle room, but that means we have to get rid of, we have to put out of business millions of taxes.
Yeah.
And those people have a lot of sway
Yep.
in Washington. So I would love to see that happen, and that's really the only way to go. It's gigantic for him. You realize that 87,000 will make the IRS bigger than pretty much any agency in the government.
Right. Isn't it funny that if you go back in time and you think about the Tea Party, what was the Tea Party fighting for and what were they talking about? And the Tea Party was, at that time, it was 2010, 2012, where people were talking about a fair tax or a flat tax, when people cared about the money that was being spent by the government, how outrageous it was. Do you remember how it came to fruition? You think about all of that, and you think about what they could have done and what an opportunity missed if we could have got something done then, where we would be today. I mean, the things that we were talking about then during the Tea Party, if we would have done what we were talking about, if we would have been able to accomplish some of those things congressionally, man, we would be in a different place than we are now. So it's, yeah.
Exactly why most of the women are shadowing all those conservative groups and
Yep.
during 2010 and 2012.
Yeah.
And by the way, the attorney who signed off on the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago represented Lois Lerner.
No bias there. No, everything's fine. That's okay. Listen, at least we know that one lesson learned. And here's the good news, everybody. The good news is a lesson that was learned over the summer and through the school year has presented itself in such a positive way. In other words, all the parents showing up at school board meetings concerned about what their kids are being taught. At least, Mike, we don't have a school district anywhere in the country that's no longer going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, right? I mean, at least we don't have that happening, right?
Yeah, sure. And I checked. I just checked every single school board in every single state and every single district. No. It's probably hundreds of them, but Fargo, North Dakota came out and actually voted 7-2 to cancel sending the Pledge of Allegiance before the school board meeting because, as one member, the vice president of the board said, it's the language bothers me. It's not just under God. He says liberty and justice for all does not exist in this country.
So what you're saying is that it is happening. See, that's the point, everybody. The whole school board issue, the whole you hear lots of people running for school board, you hear commercials on the station, you hear people talking about it. It's a real thing. Like, we need to really make sure that we elect the right people. Yeah.
Not even close to being halfway there in school board.
Right.
And Fargo, North Dakota is just about as red as you could get.
Yep.
You know, and this is astounding. This is amazing. But you know what I think is a bigger problem?
The itch that I had last year that I didn't know that there was. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Okay. Okay. What else? Yeah.
I'm worried. There's too many police departments, especially in the nation's capital. There are 30 different police departments in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
We talked about the IRS having their own cops.
Yeah.
The Bureau of Immigration and Printing has its own cops, armed, uniform. You know, the Washington Zoo has its own police force.
The zoo?
The zoo has an armed police force. They have squad cars. They have a jail cell.
Well,
All of them.
yeah, but you never know. Like, shrews get out of control there, and sometimes you just have to have the law behind you and little baby cuffs.
The Capitol Police will handle more situations.
But don't.
Thank you very much. But here's the question. How do you know we have too many police departments, the divisions of police? If someone's standing in front of the White House today, right, and they get shot right there in Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah.
If they fall in the street, the D.C. police have to respond. If they fall on the sidewalk, it's the park police that has to respond. If they fall on the lawn at the White House, it's the Secret Service. I think we have too many divisions. This is just Washington. Think how this spreads across the country.
All right, unbelievable. All right, we got time for one more thought in your brain that you would like to come out of your mouth and over the airwaves. What? Give me something to leave us with here.
There's a crazy story, and I want to tell you a crazy story. There's a crazy story, and in this country, it's only being reported on for the street. It's the story of an American guy who lived out in the middle of nowhere, and he wanted cable. So his cable company said, okay, we'll extend the broadband to you, but it's $40,000. So he told the town, sing. And he built his own backbone, his own cable company, and his neighbors were like, hey, can I pay a little bit?
Wow.
You can do this, people, and just be confident. And he said, look, if they would have told me it's 10 grand, I would have written them the check. But when they said 40 grand, I said, count sand. So now this guy has his own cable company because he's out in the middle of nowhere. And that's America to me. That's America stepping up and saying, actually coming in and saying, well, we'll have to get your business going if we will explain it to people. Now he's got customers, and he'll be in the chips and everybody will be happy.
I love it. And you are America, my friend. Michael Belka, everybody. Come on, let's hear it. All right, we got to go. I hear the music playing. We got to run. No, it's actually Ian. Jake's here. He's socializing. Figure that one out. Well, there was food, so what are you going to do? All right, see you next week. All right. All right, we appreciate everybody. Oaks Farm Seed to Table, thank you for stopping by for this make update on our first Friday, and looking forward to talking to you next week. Have a great weekend. Let's find out what's happening with the remainder of the forecast today. And Daybreak 92.5 Fox News right all along. Great job, Ian. Thank you so much. You're the best.